All right, so we're going to switch gears and we are now going to go into the subconscious release technique part of our program. So I love this quote because it is so absolutely true what I have found in my last year of really diving deep into this. And it's the subconscious mind is like a tape player. Until you change the tape, it will not change. It just won't. It just keeps playing the same thing that it's been fed. And we'll explain a little bit why that happens and what is the conscious mind and what is the subconscious mind. So to understand that, we kind of need to back up. So our subconscious mind, its whole purpose in life is to keep us alive. It is fully developed from the moment we're born, even in the womb. It knows how to regulate our heartbeat. It knows how to regulate cells. It knows how to grow us from two different cells that come together and create a human. So it's an incredibly powerful part of our mind and of our being. And as we age, our conscious mind becomes more developed. So it takes until about the age of 25 for our conscious mind to be fully developed. And even then, it's only about 10 to 15% of our full brain power. We hear that a lot where we say we only use 10% of our brain. And that's not quite an accurate statement. It's our conscious mind only represents about 10% of our brain power. The other 90% is taking up and doing a whole lot of stuff. It is not there for nothing. Nothing is wasted. So when we think about our conscious mind, this is where our logic is. This is where our critical thinking is. This is where we have some short-term memories, even though that slide says long-term memory, it should actually be short-term memory. And I'll make sure I fix that on the next one. It's our willpower. It's being able to make decisions and decide. Because our subconscious mind houses our fight or flight reflex. It is not critical thinking. It is not logical. It needs to accept everything as truth because it can't decide hey, the saber-toothed tiger is running at me. Is it running at me to give me a hug? Does it love me? Or does it want to eat me? So it can't make those decisions. It has to say, danger, run away, and make a decision and go for it. So what happens is as we're growing, things that we hear, things that someone says to us, things that we experience, those thoughts then create an emotional response. It releases, to get scientific and technical about it, peptides are released from our brain to create amino acid chains that represent the emotions that we feel that then get stored in our body. So the reason that we designed this workshop to do the emotion code release first is because all those emotions that we have felt all throughout our life, a lot of them are still stuck in there. So we just released those 3 emotions of shame, guilt, and fear to be released from our body. But now, if we don't release the programming within our brain, if we don't change that tape that is in our subconscious mind, we're just going to keep regenerating those same emotions. So while it was great that we were able to clear that out, we want to kind of shield ourselves and protect ourselves from creating it again. And that's where the subconscious release technique comes in. And that's why these 2 techniques are so powerful together. So what we're going to do today in the subconscious release technique is to rewrite those self-sabotaging thought patterns. So something somebody said to you when you were 7, maybe they said, maybe you were, fast to develop and you had like really long legs or something. And maybe other kids made fun of you for having long legs. And now for the rest of your life growing up, you're self-conscious about your legs. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just what someone told you once upon a time because of what they were going through, and it's affected you. There could be, and it could be all sorts of things. They don't always have to be malicious. It doesn't always have to be a big trauma. While we do work with people who've had big traumas like physical, emotional, verbal, sexual abuse, it doesn't always have to be that. It could just be something as common as something your grandmother said to you offhand with the best intentions, but not realizing the ripple effect it could have on you and the rest of your life. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I'm going to walk through what the process is going to look like, and then we're going to go through and do some releases around some of the things that you might have written down at the beginning about why you wanted to take this course, what you are concerned about and worried about going into the rest of the holiday season, and how we can fix that. So We just mentioned that our conscious mind is 10% and it's stored up here in our prefrontal cortex. And our subconscious mind is back here. It's where we call our reptilian brain. And so we need to make sure that we're connecting those two. So right now, we're blinking, we're breathing, all of that is happening subconsciously. So when we start the technique, and we're not going to do it yet, I'm just going to walk you through it. I will ask you to close your eyes and take a deep breath, that big belly breath, not the shoulder stress breathing. So we'll take our big belly breath and we'll hold it. Having our eyes consciously closed and our breath consciously held, we have now engaged our conscious mind and our subconscious mind at the same time. So the two can talk to one another. I'm then going to give you a sentence. And this sentence, it's a formula. It's always going to start with, I release all. Then I'm either going to give you a negative emotion that's associated with it or a block of a positive. And I'll explain that in a second, but let me finish the sentence. And then I'm going to say with, and then I'm going to give you something that we're going to clear today. So it'll be different sentences. It'll be different phrases. It could be I set the stage and give you a situation that I'm going to want you to hold in your mind, a memory, an experience, and you'll just clear on that whole thing. So I'm doing my best to sort of tap into the energy of everyone that's here on the call so that we can get what's going to be the best clearing for the collective, and make sure that we can get the best that we need for that. So the negative emotions and the blocks with the positive. Let's explain that for a second. So if you think about, let's use anxiety as an example. You might think that you're experiencing anxiety in a certain situation, but it's also possible that you're blocking yourself from experiencing peace. So it's the same coin, just different sides. So we look at both of those, the negative emotions and the block with positives. And I'll walk you through the sentence and walk you through the whole experience so that you are fully guided through this process.